Hey guys, it's Nimbus. I am back today with another video. As always, it is free Palestine, free everybody. We will never be free until we are all free. It's a lot to cover at this point. And like I said last time, I'm pretty much out of words. I'm probably still going to keep talking for 10 minutes. The thing that gets me the most about all of this is the fact that so many people are saying they can't do anything about it, they have nothing to do with this, whatever, keep going, These are the same people who will be in the U.S. screaming about women's rights, screaming about children's rights in schools with all the mass shootings, and so on and so on and so on. But they can't be bothered with what's going on in Palestine. They can't be bothered with what's going on in Sudan, or the Democratic Republic of Congo, or Syria, or Lebanon. The list goes on and on and on. They can't be bothered with anything else, but the second it affects them, of course then it's a problem. The craziest thing about that to me is the whole victim mentality after everybody told you to prepare. Nothing for anybody else to do after they told you to prepare and get ready for it. And if you didn't get ready for it or think about it or anything because you thought it was never going to affect you, that's not on anybody else. That's only on you. You should have listened. You should have paid attention. Oops. Yeah, I don't really even know what to say, what else to say. It's some scary stuff going on right now. I mean, like, really, it's scary, because if you really think about what the long-term effects of all this stuff is, I mean, It's Not Real has dropped, I don't remember how many tons of bombs it's been. It's like, specifically, it's been more than World War II combined, for sure. Like every single country in World War II combined, since October 7th. That's not to mention any of the other stuff that happened October 7th. That's just since October 7th. I don't understand how you can see that and think these people are doing the right thing. I want to love and have respect for everybody in the world, but there's no way that I can sit here with a clean conscience and say I'm friends with a Zionist. I'm friends with somebody who doesn't mind the slaughter of Palestinians. I'm not saying you have to lose sleep over it. I'm not saying anything crazy. I'm saying that you gotta be against it. And I don't see how that's such a difficult, crazy thing to ask somebody. That sounds like a you problem if you're upset. That's not a me problem. That's a you problem. I'm telling you, Zionist, whoever, no matter how you spin it, no matter how you say it, there's no way to positively spin a genocide. There's no way to positively defend this or justify this. And if you try to, like, that just shows where your morals are. I'm not about to listen to you say, but they're just Palestinians. They're humans. If you can't see them as humans, that's on you. Look at the Bible. See who was there first. Was it Europeans? Because I guarantee you the answer is fuck no. It definitely wasn't Americans. But go back and see how the Bible described Jesus. Do your own research. Stay up to date with what's going on. There's a lot going on. Just please keep in mind that no matter what, we have to get louder and we have to keep talking. We are making, it might be slow progress and it might be micro steps at a time, but hey, a micro step forward and a millimeter forward a day is still progress forward. I mean, at this point, we know what the government is capable, the world government is capable of. We know what they're going to do, and we see what they're doing. They're trying to whitewash history in front of our eyes. There was just a video that came out about a Senate bill that changed, and what was it? It removes like writings of Dr. Martin Luther King. It removes, mentionings of, historical figures, Susan B. Anthony, various other people. Like, I don't understand how that would be, like, from schools, like as in people cannot teach those things. So I'm trying to understand how that makes sense and how that's not a descent into fascism, but running around funding a genocide is what a normal country does. And again, all this stuff is available online. Like, you can literally go find it. You can literally look all of this stuff up for yourself. It's time to start doing the work. It's time to really start doing the work. No matter what, if you are not the part of them, we'll call it, you're not part of them. That's the whole thing. Then you're one of us. It's definitely not you versus us. This is basically, again, essentially a class war. It's got to be the lower class versus the upper class / the ruling class, because that's what it is. You got the people who hoard all of the money and all of us fighting for what, like 1 or 2% of all of the rest of the money in the world. But we got homelessness. We got refugees that don't get aid. We got people in telecom blackouts that are just struggling to live a day-to-day life simply because other people can't make a fucking decision on their own. It's got to be an all-out war every time. It makes no sense. And everybody, again, is just running around like this is a normal day. Like everything is fine. Nothing crazy happening. I think this will be the last thing and then I'll move on. But we have to make sure that no matter what, the children and the next generation are going to be okay. At this point, it's too late. It's 2024. We need to start progressing and actually being a people, society moving forward. We can't be this divided over everything simply because somebody else said it's a problem. What do you think it is? Do you think it's a problem? Yes or no? Do you think it's a problem because they said it? Yes or no? That's it. And if the answer is yes because you let somebody else tell you what to think, change 222. Change it. Change it. Make the decision to change it. Yes, it's difficult. Nobody's saying that all of this stuff is just easy and it'll just be fine. But you have to make the decision to actually want better, to actually do better. You can do it. We can all do it. We just actually have to make the steps forward that make it possible. We can't get caught up in all of this extra stuff of running around hoping that everything's going to change and hoping that a savior pops up out of nowhere. Nobody's coming to save us. We have to do it ourselves. We have to do it ourselves, and we got to make sure that everybody else knows that the reason we're doing it for ourselves is because nobody else stepped up. And it's not to make somebody step up. It's to show that we never needed one person in the first place. We needed everybody. It didn't need to be the chosen one. It needed to be all of us figuring out that all of us are needed in some way. Once we have the numbers, we already have the numbers. Once we realize the power that we all hold, what are they going to do to us? Free Palestine, free Sudan, free the Democratic Republic of Congo, free Waziristan, free Kurdistan, free Haiti, free Puerto Rico, free Hawaii, free everybody, free Tigray, free everybody. We will never be free until we are all free. Shameless plug. If you guys would like to tip me during the course of this reading, I want you to donate the money to whatever organization you feel is necessary. I don't want to tell you where to donate it, but just make sure that the money goes exactly where you think it does. If you could do whatever you want, but if you want it to go to the people and it goes to line some rich guy's pockets and then it kind of goes to the people, that's probably not what you're looking for. You know what I mean? You want to send the money right to the people who need it. If it goes to supplies and those supplies go to people, that's cool. You know, the supplies are the donations then. You know what I mean? Like, but these are donations. You know what I mean? People shouldn't be showing up to a store to have to buy stuff at this point. Paying for donations doesn't make them donations. It means that these people are greedy as fuck. Anyway, I'm gonna get this incense going really quick. Alright guys, so if you would like to breathe with me, let's get breathing. Otherwise, go ahead and skip ahead past the meditation, and you'll get right to the reading. If you guys do want to breathe with me today, go ahead and put your feet flat down on the floor, put your hands flat down on the table in front of you or flat down in your lap, and go ahead and sit up straight, and we're going to breathe in through our nose and out through our mouths. Go ahead and, if you need to, breathe however you need to. If you need to breathe slower or faster, I'm going to breathe at about a count of 4 in, count of 4 out. I'm not going to hold it or anything. Excuse me. I'm not going to hold it or anything. But yeah. So if you guys are ready, go ahead and close your eyes and we'll get started. Breathe in through your nose. And out through your mouth. Breathe in. And out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Last one. And out. Go ahead and keep your eyes closed and just breathe normally for a minute. Releasing any tension you may have from the top of your head all the way down to your toes. I like to just do some neck rolls, go in both directions a couple times. Switch direction. We're not looking to stretch, just releasing some of the tension. Just a quick little something. And then I like to do some shoulder rolls, backwards and forwards. Switch directions. You can do whatever you would like to do. I just, next I like to just shake out my arms and legs and just kind of, shake them. It's the easiest way to release tension. Alright, take one more deep breath in through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. Go ahead and breathe normally. You can go ahead and breathe normally and open your eyes slowly. Alright guys, if you guys need more time, go ahead and pause it now. Otherwise, we are going to get started. Alright, so today we are going to use the Marigold Tarot again. Just a really awesome deck, honestly. I did forget one thing. I need to grab one thing really quick. So today is February 29th. Happy Leap Year Day. Yeah. So today we are going to do a, what did I say? What will March bring you? What will March bring you? I think that'll be a good way to close out February. So, as always, this is a collective reading. Take what resonates, leave what does not. Don't make anything fit that doesn't fit. Pause. But, don't go crazy with the messages. If it's for you, you'll know that it's for you. You know what I mean? One card at a time, please, Spirit. But yeah. What messages do we have for today? Where did it go? I know a card. There it is. Okay. 10 of Wands. I was like, I know a card flipped over. We got the 10 of Wands. Let's see what else comes out real quick. Okay. We got the 5 of Cups reversed. With the 10 of Wands, it feels like a very almost wishy-washy kind of energy. With the 5 of Cups reversed, there's like this need for what's the word? An alliance. Yeah. I don't know why that word, let me keep going, because it's a very specific word. Okay, we got the King of Swords. Swords, can you clarify this for me a little? Okay. Oh, okay. Two of Swords just came out, as like right when I said, can you clarify this? It really feels like this wishy-washy kind of energy is like you're not sure what direction to go. Okay. The Hermit just flew out. Okay. I see now. I'm just trying to put it into words. That's the difficult part. In the past couple of readings that I've had, we've had the Tower come out a couple of times. And I don't know if the Tower's going to come out again, I don't know. But we've had the Tower come out. Death came out once or twice. The Hermit's been coming out quite often recently. But it makes sense. It's time for a I mean, I know y'all can see the sun coming through. Well, okay, I don't know if y'all can see like the sun actually like right this second, but like I'm sure it keeps getting brighter. The spring is coming. And that means that the more we get ready for a rebirth, the more we'll be able to grow this year. You know, the past couple of years have been a lot of, all right, let's try to do these things, and then like magically everything gets in the way, and it's like, all right, let me not then, I guess we're not. But now we're kind of getting more to a point of, we're getting more to this space of, do we actually want to keep going with how life is, or do we want a fundamental change to happen on a more grand kind of scale? And this, to me, this is just what I'm getting from the cards that are out right now. Are we going to, we as in you, sorry, not like we, collective we, just like, well, collective we, yes, but like, y'all know what I mean. The more time that we take in hermit mode to like really kind of understand where we are, who we are, what we're doing, the better we'll be able to make this decision moving forward. Yes, we kind of have to make a decision soon, but it doesn't feel like one of those decisions that's like, okay, make this decision and that's it for the rest of your life. That's not it. It's like a decision that just needs to be made because you have to do something. Okay. We got the Eight of Rings reversed. It's the Eight of Pentacles. There's definitely this feeling of like, and it might almost be like you're trying to get over this materialistic, you know, maybe you want to be done with the constantly getting a new phone or needing to get a new phone because it upgrades out of the last one that you had. Like, to, you know, not wanting to deal with designer, you know, new designer releases or, you know, stuff like that. Where we're really sitting with ourselves in hermit mode, really figuring out, like, what is it that we need to change in order to get us to actually where we want to be. If I want to save money, that means I can't spend, you know, the money on designer shoes or whatever it is, you're better, it seems like you're better learning how to deal with the uncertainty by trying to step back and observe instead of just reacting. Because when you step back and observe, then you're able to respond. You're not reacting. Responding is different than reacting. Responding is you take, you know, at least from how I understand it, responding is you're taking a more calm approach to something that just happened. You know, you're calm and collected about it. Reacting is like it just happened and that's your first reaction. What was the first thing that happened in your mind? You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, somebody says something and you immediately just get mad. That would be a reaction. A response would be, you know, taking a breath and saying, "Hey, that was fucked up. Why would you say that to me?" And then, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of thing. If you need a rest, take some rest too. Yeah, if you need a rest, take some rest. Nine of Swords. I know that's not related to resting, but my yawn just reminded me. There's a lot of stuff that we're being called to do right now, and there's a lot of work that's being done, but we also need to make sure that we're taking time to keep ourselves up and able to function correctly. Excuse me, birth for confirmation. And that means that even on days where we, you know, maybe we really need to get some stuff done, but our body has decided that it's not the day to do that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, we have to honor that. We have to understand and respect that our bodies aren't going to be able to function full capacity 24/7. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not possible. And with the Nine of Swords, you know, some of these things can keep you up with all of the, you know, if somebody's hurt you, you know, it could be the triggers, it could be the fact that somebody deceived you, it could be... Point being is that when we take time in the hermit mode, in hermit mode, we get to fully take a step back and understand and analyze what is really going on. You know, if something's bothering us, we get to take that step back and really try to get into it and like really understand from below the surface what is going on. Because when we're looking at it from surface level, there's like the trigger that we see, but then there's all the other stuff that's like the actual trauma that we haven't unpacked yet. You know what I mean? And we got to do all of that in order to get rid of the trigger, because if we don't get rid of all of the trauma or heal all of the trauma, which we're never going to be all the way healed, but we can always be working towards healing and being healed. You know what I mean? We can heal certain things, but we're never going to be 100% healed, because it's a whole journey. Things are constantly happening to us. Things are constantly resurfacing that we never thought of until now, you know, that kind of thing. So, yeah. Yeah, we get to really take a step back and finally heal what needs to fully be healed. Because once all that trauma is unpacked and healed, those triggers, they might still hurt, they might still get you, they might still be irritating, but those triggers aren't going to be able to hurt you as much anymore, because they don't hold the same weight that they did before. They don't have that same power over you. you've gotten through and actually gotten through at that point. You haven't gone around it, you didn't go over it, you went through it. You felt it, you dealt with it, and you let it go, and you moved on. Like, that's the whole point. Like, and it's hard. Doing shadow work and going through all that stuff is very difficult, because we have to relive the trauma. We have to, like, actually go through it and fully understand from both sides what happened. At least from how I understand it. And it's not about forgiveness as much as it's about closure for yourself. If you're not going to get the closure from other people, at least get it for yourself. Because people aren't going to change what they're doing. And if they haven't apologized yet, they're not going to apologize for it. And I promise, once you're able to do that, once you're able to sit there and really stand up for yourself and stand in your own power, I promise you, people are gonna want to fuck with you and like try to like piss you off and get to you, but you're gonna have so many more people who respect you for doing what you're doing and saying whatever it is, how you're saying it, that you're gonna have more people on your side than they're gonna be against you. People like authenticity more than they like bullshit and all of like the random facades that people put up. People would rather just see somebody and have friends who are just normal people, not trying so hard to be something that they're not, just to fit in. Because what's the point? The Hanged Man reversed. Release it. Let it go. Feel it. Nobody's saying don't feel it, and nobody is saying, you know, don't sit there with it for a while. You're allowed to sit there with it as long as you need to, but don't let it consume you. Don't let it be the reason why your day is ruined, or don't let it be the reason why, you know, whatever like that. You know, it's not... Healing these things is supposed to be just that. You're supposed to be healing it. If you rip the bandage off too quick, of course you're going to make it bleed a little bit. But how are you going to take care of it? Are you going to smack some rubbing alcohol on it, or are you just going to wipe it down with a wet paper towel? I mean, like, honestly. It's not going to bleed for that long. It's already been healing. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to clean it because it didn't get dirty yet. You know what I mean? But it's just time to feel it, deal with it, and let it go. If you got to put a new bandage back on it and get back to it tomorrow, then that's what you got to do. Again, progress is progress. Little tiny steps in millimeters is still progress forward, as long as you're moving forward. That's still progress. I don't know if y'all can see these cards popping out. I'm going to try to figure out a new angle for the camera so that y'all can see these cards flying out. Temperance just flew out. Like, I'm talking like that was wild. Anyway, Temperance. And once we're able to kind of be a little bit more like real with what we have, we're able to be a little bit more frugal, and things will feel more fruitful, and they will be more fruitful because we're a little bit more, instead of going for this really extravagant, insane whatever, we're going after stuff that's a little bit less, a little bit less extravagant and a little bit more simple. You know, stuff will be a little bit more, you know, easier to obtain. That way the expectations aren't so high, and then we're disappointing ourselves when those expectations don't get met. You know what I mean? You know, don't lower your expectations in order to settle. Lower your expectations from perfection to, I mean, everybody's idea of perfection is different, but we can't expect everything to just be perfect in a world that's imperfect. That's just, we can find stuff, and, you know, the way that I think about it is like we're always looking for our soulmate, but our soulmate is only our soulmate in our head. You know what I mean? We know how we want our soulmate to look. We know how we want them to act. We know what we want them to sound like. Maybe, hopefully. Hopefully I'm not crazy. But like, we have this idea in our head of who we're going to end up with. And the majority of the time, from what I've seen from people in my life, from my friends to my family, they didn't necessarily imagine that the person that they ended up with was going to be their person. You know what I mean? They might have thought of somebody else, or like thought of, you know what I mean? Point being is that once we're able to get through once we're able to feel it, let it go, and move on, and take the time to really figure out what it is that we need to actually do, well, the frugality and the fruitfulness will come in, because there'll be more open space for that stuff to fill in, if that makes sense. Because we're no longer staying up late every night crying about whatever the Nine of Swords meant for us. Right. Judgment. I mean, balance, renewal. Once we're able to come out of this slump, we're able to fully appreciate and understand the Emperor reversed. We're able to fully appreciate and understand the stability that is offered when we're not constantly dealing with these other things. You know, the Emperor reversed could be an obstruction, immaturity, those kinds of things. But we also need to remember that in those moments, we have to show ourselves some kind of compassion. Otherwise, we have to show ourselves some compassion. Otherwise, we end up right back to where we were, and then we didn't make any progress. You know what I mean? We end up right back in the Nine of Swords energy, you know, where we can't get any type of stability because everything around us is just crumbling and falling apart. Death just came out. And like I said, there's a whole rebirth coming soon. It's the end of an era. You know what I mean? It's the end of a certain way of how you acted, a certain way of thinking, a certain way of all of that, or any of that, I guess I should say. It's really like this feeling of no matter what happens, you know how in those movies when somebody accepts the fact that they're about to die and they just like it's not funny, but like that's surrender. That's the word that I'm looking for. It's there's an amount of surrendering that comes from this entire cycle. And after a certain point, you just have to surrender. Otherwise, you're gonna be dragged around like a rag doll. Like, you're gonna have to surrender to it. One card at a time, please, Spirit. You're just gonna have to surrender to it. It is what it is. It sucks sometimes to have to, like, change up what you were doing completely. But if you don't surrender, it's gonna be a whole bunch of extra stuff that, and it's not like a threat. It's more like this feeling of, because the change is gonna happen regardless. Death is inevitable. The end is going to happen. Whether or not you go out kicking and screaming is on you. It's not funny, but, like, you know, the Grim Reaper can either show up and escort you or show up and drag you there. The Ace of Swords reversed just came out. And it's almost like this, it's almost like what you've done in the past may have backfired. Which would make anybody reluctant to try again. But we also have to remember that just because we tried before and failed doesn't mean that if we try again, we'll just fail again. You know, the definition of insanity is trying the same thing again and expecting a different response, or expecting a different outcome or whatever. But why not try to change something a little bit, or like tweak it and then try it again? Like, we wouldn't have any, you know, engineering feats, architecture feats happen, electronic feats, anything crazy without people, you know, shit, that didn't work. You know, tinker, tinker, tinker. Okay, shit, that didn't work. Tinker, tinker, tinker. Multiple times, probably for years and years and years, and then finally we get what we know today. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to take some time. Yes, sometimes these plans backfire, but other times we see the success that we want anyway because we know that we're going to make it, and we're not going to let sabotage, like, we're not going to let self-sabotage happen. Okay. We got the Lovers. And what's our last card? And the Chariot. Alright. The bottom of the deck is the Ten of Swords. And it definitely feels like that there's a lot of, like, sadness, you know, anger, frustration, fear, that kind of thing going on. But it feels like that, I think I said this in my last video, there's like this, there's always that duality that has to happen. We have to, you know, there's no appreciating the sunshine without the rain. There's no light without dark. There's no day without night. There's, you know, that kind of thing. So there's always got to be that duality with the struggle and the success. But it feels like once we get through this struggle and really end the cycle and really we're done with it, we get to come back out on top with all of the triumph, with all of everything that we wanted, with all the success, because we were able to pull ourselves into balance and we were able to keep moving into where we wanted to be. We didn't stop. We didn't turn around and go back because we thought that we weren't allowed. You know what I mean? We kept going forward because we knew that that's where we wanted to be, and that's what we're gonna go. That's where we're gonna go. That's what we're gonna do. That's what it's gonna be. You know. I'm here. I'm queer. You gotta deal with it. Like, that's literally the energy that I'm getting from this right now. And not, if you are not queer, that's not to say that you have to be. You got some explaining to do. I'm kidding. No. Imagine getting outed by a tarot video. Jesus Christ. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry to the 4 people I just outed from a from a tarot video. This is a great reading. It's always hard to deal with the prospect of dealing with shit that we don't want to think about anymore, or with the actual act of dealing with shit that we don't want to deal with anymore. But once we actually do these things and really heal them, unless we let them get to us again, that's done. It's over. You know what I mean? We don't have to deal with that trigger to that level ever again. You know, again, we're still gonna get triggered. We're still gonna have to deal with stuff happening that we don't like, but it's not necessarily just gonna be something that ruins our day or throws us off for the rest of the day or whatever it is. It will just be another thing that happens that, you know, it's just another minor inconvenience that I have to deal with now. It's not, you know, this whole big thing that I have to, you know, I have to go out to my car and meditate now and like go have a little snack and, you know, all that stuff. Like, it's, you know, however you cope is however you cope. But I'm saying that this way, this will be, you know, say you're at a shift at work and somebody says something that's triggering as fuck. You can't always just go outside and take a smoke break or go into the back and take a break. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you have to like breathe, say, okay, fuck it, and then let it go. You know what I mean? Like, that's the moment that I'm talking about. Like, where you're not able to get away, you're not able to go 222, you're not able to get away, you're not able to go do anything else. You have to make the decision to be okay and not, you know, in that situation, not lose your job. You know what I mean? Do whatever you want to do. If you want to say whatever you want to say, go ahead and do whatever you want to do. But I am not responsible. Anyway, with that being said, let's do our pride message. See what comes out for that really quick. There we go. Okay, so we got Gay Cotton Candy. Perseverance. Take a peek at your past to unravel your future. Just by remembering how far you've come can help you realize that you've had the power to make progress all along. Yeah. And the more we stand in that power, the more progress we can make because we know we can go forward and keep going. And then it's easier to have more strength and more, you know, passion in the future because passion, actually. That's wild. We can have more passion in the future because now we know more so what we're looking for and what we actually want. All you need is love. Passion. Emotions can bubble under pressure. Build a physical connection with someone that makes you feel good about yourself. Yeah. And the more we know ourselves, the easier it is to build those connections because we know what we want and we know what we're looking for, and we don't have to fake anything. We don't have to run around acting like, oh, you're cool, but I don't know. And you know what I mean? We just, do I like you? Yes, no. Do we want to keep going? Yes, no. And that's it. Got a gay donut. Instinct. Trust your gut. Your subconscious has its own... Trust your gut. Your subconscious has its own language. While it may not often make sense, most of the time, what it has to say has value. Take some time to listen. Yeah. I'm going to grab the sweary affirmation really quick. Do that really quick. Okay. Positive vibes only, fuck negativity. True. Yeah, I mean... And the more that we look at this in a negative way, like the more that we look at the end of an era or a cycle in a negative way, the more negative it's going to feel. The more we expect it to be negative, the more it will just be a negative experience. But if we expect to go into this with a positive outcome, with learning lessons and coming out on top with success and abundance that we were looking for, why wouldn't we? You know what I mean? We have to say fuck the negativity and keep the positive vibes around us only because, I mean, again, duality exists, the negativity and positivity, we can't have one without the other. But we can push the negativity out to invite more positivity in. Does that make sense? Negativity, like misery loves company. You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole thing. Misery loves company. People who are miserable love to be around people who are miserable or make other people feel miserable because that's how they feel. But once we're focused on the positivity and once we're standing in our power enough to not let that bother us, they can't get us. They can't bother us. They can't ruin our day. They can't bring us down. None of that stuff. Perseverance. We got to keep going. Is there anything else for today? All right. So yeah, that is all I am seeing for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching this far if you guys did. You guys... please like, share, comment, subscribe if you guys did. Yeah. I appreciate you guys. I am closing out this reading. Cool. Free Palestine. Free everybody. We will never be free until we're all free. Yeah. Thank you all for being here. I will catch y'all in the next one. Be safe. Have the day that y'all deserve. I love y'all. Peace.